Hello, welcome to our first episode of Girls Who Chat About, presented by CTMC, Can't Touch My Crown. Originally, we started off as a feminist blog to be a platform for intersectional feminism and just anything about the female experience, but now we are exploring something different. Mm-hmm. So I'm Zed.
I'm Ali.
Yes, and we plan to have guests in the future. We're thinking of collaborations. There's all sorts of things in the works, but I think what we wanted to do is actually just start off with conversations amongst ourselves.
Yeah, I think conversations about things that are relevant to women from our backgrounds today, because growing up we didn't have these. So it's just, I think it's a case of making other people know that they're not by themselves in situations, and just feeling like, you know what, it's not just me.
Yeah, exactly. And I think when we were younger, me and Ali have known each other since year 7, age 10, 11. So we've had similar experiences, but obviously coming from different backgrounds. Me from a South Asian background, Ali from
West African Ghanaian background.
Yeah, but both being British born and bred. We can talk specifically more of experience of being women of colour.
Yeah. Lit food but stressful lives.
100%.
Where's the life?
Food is spicy, but life is always nice. Food
is flavoursome, but the life not so much.
But we'll go into more details.
Literally.
But we have like a nice range of topics we want to cover. But I think the first thing that we wanted to talk about, because I think me and Ali, we have quite good conversations on a regular. We thought, well, why not just record it and see what we can do from it, if we can get interactions from people.
Of course.
And if you can actually, give advice like other podcasts. Not like we're rinsing, copywriting. I don't want to get sued.
We never know names, are we?
Give us money.
For it.
Please.
For Spotify.
No. One day. Maybe Apple Music, something like that. But for now, YouTube. Because it's free. My favourite word.
True. Free and or discounted.
Anything with a bargain, please. Send us free stuff. But the thing that I think we agreed our first topic was going to be about is, what was it again?
I know.
Body, I think body image.
And perceptions, and just like sort of how we felt growing up.
Yeah.
With people, I feel
the pressures on young women.
Because I feel it links again to sort of, a previous discussion about sort of social media, etc., and how things have changed. And the change has been very rapid, I felt.
I think we were blessed. Because what we were talking about the other day is we grew up, and the things that we saw about celebrity culture was purely from magazines. I work with young people now. If I mention magazines and actually having to buy a magazine from a corner shop, they are just like, was it in black and white, miss?
Bruh.
Because
I work
magazine?
with younger children, and it's just like, I bring a magazine and what is this?
What is this archaic form? What do you mean?
With photos
so
on this.
You didn't know what celebrities were thinking on a Friday evening? No. Okay, they had to tour, they had to repress their emotions like everyone else, and they had a certain image to portray. Whereas now, you can find out what Cardi B's feeling on a Saturday night.
Look, on her Snapchat, she's pissed off at something.
Yeah, everything. On 1 minute, not with Offset. Next minute with Offset. Next minute.
Not enough nuggets in her Happy Meal or something.
Why do I know this much? I had to struggle for my information.
It's deep, but it shows how social media is like so ingrained in everyone's lives, and you feel. I think the reason why certain celebrities have sort of gotten to their stardom nowadays is the interactivity.
Yes.
Because,
it's how much they engage. And I think as well, it's similar to, social media and Instagram particularly. You got, these Insta stars, and it's just it's visual, but then, they're responding to their followers' comments and all this sort of stuff, and they're putting out these competitions and stuff like that, and it's just like, that wasn't really... We didn't have to go through that as much. We had... we were saying, what was it the other day? You said we had people like, is it Kate Moss?
Kate Moss.
Yeah.
I grew up again, Kate Moss, and I feel as well, sort of my influence came from Skins, the first generation of Skins you had.
Skins.
What you had? Oh shit, what's his name?
The only Asian representative, only Muslim representative. What's he doing?
Being Muslim in it.
Not being very Muslim.
I've been conflicted about the gay friend he had.
He's got Slumdog Millionaire.
He did well. Actually, he's been the most successful, apart from Nicholas Hoult.
Yeah. He's probably the most successful out of that first gen.
I feel like people remember Dev Patel more, but then me, I'm quite biased because I remember all the names of South Asian celebrities.
But I think out of that generation, him and Nicholas Hoult, they've actually been the most prolific out of... Because you had the girl playing Michelle... Cassie, the couple of Cassie.
I'm thinking second gen, the one that played the little sister. She's been in a lot.
What's Effie? Oh, shit, what's her name? Something Scarderero. It's like
she's got Brazilian surname.
Yeah, it's I think it's Isabel or something like that. She's gorgeous. But...
she was in Maze Runner, wasn't she? And she's in some new film about some scary crocodile.
But she's done well as well. But if you look at it as a whole, because they've had 3 generations, and there's only a handful, because on average each generation has about 6 characters, so
I think it's a luck of a draw thing,
there's about 4 or 5 who've actually remade it. There's some you sort of see here and there, but they're not actually...
But isn't that funny, because now if we're going back to our original point about how social media is changing the pressures on young women, I think if they had more of a social media presence, I think some of them would still be quite famous now, because now we're in the era when anyone could become, excuse my French, an Instagram hoe.
Of course. Love Island. I don't watch Love Island, but I hear names. And just out of curiosity, I will go and look at the, the people, the contestants. 1 million followers after a summer. 800 plus followers after summer. It's like...
And that's just exposing yourself being on
a fucking island with some basic I'm not being real. No, I don't watch Love Island, but it's not for me. It doesn't come across
very complicated. I did see some kind of feminist posts about it, like how the women were standing up for themselves this year season. I've seen that sort of thing, but never before.
Dealing with gaslighting, blah blah. But like, that shouldn't be this year. Like, gaslighting and toxic masculine behaviour is something that's been around for ages. So like, it's great it's been televised, but at the same time, it should be a recurring thing that women should be aware of. It shouldn't take a reality show where, to be honest, I think it's quite shallow. I'm not going to lie.
It is very shallow. And that's another thing I'm worried about, because Love Island is so popular and there's a certain aesthetic of women on that show. Think about being a teenager now. You see all these people becoming influencers on YouTube, on Instagram. Then you see Love Island. There was this whole hoo-ha about... what was it? Jamila Jamil was upset that someone was picked as the plus size.
But who said she was plus size? Because I've got to think about Jamila Jamil.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I really love Jamila Jamil, and I do like a lot of what she posts. But it's gotten to the point where now it feels overcritical.
Yeah, it's
finding stuff to be critical about, because I don't think Love Island ever claimed that this was their plus size choice. Obviously, they could pick a range of people, but the whole point is that these people on bikinis on an island. It's like Big Brother, but with sunshine.
It's a shallow show, and I think it's about, like, I don't watch Love Island personally because I know that it's just doesn't it's not appeal to me. Like, I don't
make me feel bad about myself because I don't look like that.
And it's just as well, the people there are people who I would not normally interact with in my day-to-day life. It's not for me. So I can't be angry, but like, oh, you know what, do what you want. It's no different than, certain, competitions who are like, oh, we don't want people of this background or people of this background. You can't...
I don't think it's trying to tick those boxes.
It doesn't care.
There's a lot of TV shows now that are...
catering to...
Yeah, podcasts and all sorts where you can hear the voice of a different range of women and you're exposed to that.
Yeah.
Love Island doesn't
Love Island, although it's like, shallow, it's for a certain demographic, and if you want to watch it. I'm not going to bitch about it because it's like, you know what, it's not aimed at my demographic. I'm not going to watch it. No. I choose not to. I've not watched it at all. The reason I knew so much about it is literally because of I follow, Instagram and stuff like that. But if I didn't have that, I would know nothing about it. No. I'm not going to bitch and moan about it because it's like, you know what, that's just, people can't expect everything to be aimed at them personally because it's just unrealistic.
And we are in that era where now there's a pressure on every show or advertising campaign or designer to represent all shapes and sizes and experiences and abled and not abled, bodied, just now it's actually getting overwhelming. Like, you can't tick every single box.
It's too much to put. Literally, like, I watch it as a plus size woman of colour. I'm like, you know what? Stop.
Yeah.
You're not gonna.
If we're tired,
literally.
Then imagine everyone else.
Me, the minority, is tired.
Yes, me.
I'm tired. I can't do it. I'm tired. Stop it. Stop. I'm saying stop. You stop.
You know, predominantly Caucasian, white middle-aged men are thinking, stop it. Stop.
Just stop, bro. Just stop.
I'm done. I've got my YouTube, I've got my Netflix, I'm fine.
If I want to watch something that's niche, I'll watch something that's niche.
I'll watch Nollywood, I'm fine.
Please don't watch Nollywood. No, I can't take it. I can't take this. I
have YouTube. I will have YouTube. I'll go with you.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Let's go back to the pressures of young women, because imagine you're seeing all of this. Like, I can't imagine growing up now and seeing this much. I think I'm seeing so much celebration of the different types of women, of course, but I think it's the sheer amount that's out now. I think it's great that there's choices and representation. Don't get me wrong.
I agree.
But I also, one thing I know that is very overwhelming is there's not much of a filter about what you can get into now. I've got a cousin in year 7 with more than one Instagram account, and if you just go on the feed or the discovery page, you're suddenly exposed to stuff you have not subscribed to, and you can see content that's not age appropriate.
No, I agree
and it's not hard to find it now.
Because I think the age limit, I'm correct, if for Instagram is 13 or 14 years old, but either or, like that's still not. You're not an adult. You're not an adult either way.
Yeah.
And although for example, me as a black woman, I love. Their choices are based on what I follow, etc. So I do like sort of seeing, a new person I can follow, a new person I can sort of see into regarding hair, makeup, etc. People look like me, that's great. But as a 13, 14-year-old, and let's face it, there's people younger.
Yeah.
Again, don't say too much about my background, but I know people who are significantly younger than 13 and 14 who have Instagram.
Yeah.
And they're exposed to that. So, and the things that comes on Instagram, literally like, is that allowed on Instagram? I'm like, that needs to be, restricted. So
it freaks me out, bro.
Although it's great that, the diversity is there, I think there needs to be stronger limits and stronger thresholds regarding what people can see and what they're exposed to, because it opens up complexes. And I think I said before, I feel like social media is more. It depends. If it's used properly, it can be fantastic. If not, it's a fucking curse.
That's the thing in technology boom, isn't it? Like, you're gonna get all the benefits, but it isn't without. It isn't without kind of. There's always gonna be a negative side to it. Yeah. And what I worry about is when I have children, what it's going to be like. I'm not going to have children anytime soon, but it is the plan in the future. I don't know. Stop trying to make me have babies.
But like next decade and a half, when they actually reach the age where they are,
God knows what's going to be
out there, man. That's scurry.
Scurry.
As Brenda says in Scary Movies, scurry.
Scurry shit.
Scurry. And it's just like, I don't know, it's difficult.
I think we're kind of a bit dumbfounded. I think the idea of it is very overwhelming.
I think it's a lot, because like a lot has happened quite quickly.
Yeah.
Because that's just like slow, and then literally now it's like, oh my gosh, there's so much stuff.
We're in our mid to late 20s, and the amount of choice of social media now. I think when we left secondary school and we were 15, 16, Facebook was the thing.
Maybe MySpace if you were that alternative person.
No, I never was.
I did too much effort.
Yeah,
I'm lazy.
I wasn't cool. But now I can keep contact with people on completely different platforms and like
Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram. What else is there? MySpace. If you want to use MySpace,
no, nobody uses MySpace, bro. There's no point using it anymore. That's dead,
bro. It would be cool and alternative.
That's not cool, bro. I think the alternative thing now is Twitter, because people don't want to read. People don't want to read that many words.
Yeah. 144 words, that's it, I'm done.
I think characters, but it's actually extended now, isn't it? But no.
Because people like ranting Donald Trump, I ain't saying that.
That's the only reason I kind of went back on Twitter, just to see what but his tweets aren't that exciting. I actually prefer to go on Instagram.
He's not okay, but that's a different story altogether.
That's a Trump episode comes soon.
He's not okay.
Got an orange background.
He's not, get some Cheetos in it.
Controversial opinion. Cheetos they're not all that, bro.
I prefer like the little cheese puffs. They're better.
That's because we're broke.
There's more flavour.
£5 for a bag of cheese.
There's more flavour in them little cheese puffs than the little Cheetos.
That's because our broke taste buds can find the flavour.
There's more flavour in them Cheetos.
Taste buds are like 49p tastes great.
59p. But Cheetos, no, they're bland. They're actually bland. Morrison's Cheetos are bland now.
I'm actually dead.
Back to our topic before. But Cheetos are bland. They're bland. They're bland.
They're just, I don't see them. They're just bright red.
They're bright red, like.
I think it just looks cool because we've grown up watching American shows. I saw in a Childish Gambino video and I was like, oh, that looks really nice.
But you know what? I actually feel like those American shows did more damage because I feel like I feel the Americans are a lot more shy than us. Like, they would pick the perfect looking, Disney stars.
Yeah, and they pick 30-year-olds to play 16-year-olds. So look at your well-endowed self.
Don't insult me like this.
Yeah, like,
you could be my mother. Don't come at me like. Oh, I've just started high school. Fuck off.
Yeah, like, mate, you look like you've already been
graduated about 10 times over. Don't come.
Exactly. Yeah, you look like you've got several degrees.
You graduated. You went to university. You got a kid now.
Exactly. You went through acting school and got this role. Like, you don't look like you're struggling to find yourself. I'm sorry. Struggling to.
It's weird, but it's kind of weird that you have like people who look like so young.
I think that's why Skins got popular though, because they actually all look like awkward teenagers.
But I think
they were quite young.
I think they were similar. They were. I
know Dev Patel was quite young.
I think the oldest was like 20s. They weren't super like in their 30s. They were quite young people.
That's what made it quite refreshing. They looked young and awkward, and we found that was our most quite relatable. Actress, but let's be honest, no one's first day of college looked like that.
No
one's getting on in the nurse's office.
Legit.
Because there's not really a nurse's office.
Committing arson and smoking
cigarettes.
If
you hurt yourself, you go home.
How would you hurt yourself in college as well? What are you doing? You're not in primary school anymore.
No, college was a joke.
No one hurt themselves. Unless you're fucking...
No one shags on the first day. Just...
I mean, it's caviar.
I'm so sorry watching a food video, but it's really disturbing. Crabs really look like aliens. I can't handle it. I don't like it.
It needs seasoning though. In a nice soup, in palm soup.
Okay, no, the orangutans.
Sorry.
Tell me about
peanut soup.
Oh, okay, that's fun.
So our tangent. So we're going on. So distracted by food, shock horror
every day.
But talking about sort of appearances and influences and body image, etc.
I think a lot still affects us still today.
Of
course. I've always been overweight, and I think being a teenager, being overweight, I think being South Asian as well in a girls' school in London.
Harsh.
I think there was multiple angles as to which I was very insecure about. But one of the biggest factors was being overweight. And feeling a certain way about, the size clothes I wear. I think at that point I was wearing size 16 was my size.
Bruh.
And there was many times I was made to feel like ashamed of my size. And it's like, well, I wasn't the hugest. Maybe it wasn't healthy for my height. But there's a lot of that that's still kind of... I've only gotten over recently, and I'm like 27 this year.
I mean, since that's never go, because when I was in secondary school, I was significantly overweight to the point I was I think a dress size 24, 26, 28. Like I was significantly larger than I am now, and now I'm a sort of dress size 16, luckily 14 sometimes.
There we go.
But if I was that size at secondary school, I think my experience would have been very different, and also as well, I would have been treated differently as well. I mean, I'm quite fortunate. Yes, I was bigger, but I didn't experience a lot of the bullying that some people who are bigger experience. I got some comments and some bitches, which is expected, but it wasn't as bad as it could have been, because I hear some absolute horror stories of people who, in secondary school, they were physically attacked or spat at, had food for it. Like, I've never experienced that. Yeah. So unfortunate in that sense, but it wasn't the most pleasant experience, but it wasn't the worst experience I've ever had, but I wasn't comfortable. I think I was saying I wasn't uncomfortable. I wasn't comfortable in myself.
Yeah.
And I think as well, having I use inverted commas to distract to say this.
I'm 10 to your number.
I had I'd say best friend, but I had a best friend who was more conventionally attractive than myself, slimmer,
weight in the boobs,
lighter, massive tits, hip, blah blah blah. Whenever we'd go out after school, and then all of the boys would be like after them, etc., etc. So I had to sort of deal with that. Whereas I sort of,
I was quite similar too. I had a best friend that got way more attention, and people. I don't think people weren't malicious, but people. And when I say people, I'm talking about girls my age, would just be like, oh, yeah, that's going to come up in the recording. So all that splashing.
I'm just pouring
people going to need to pee now. Oh, here we go.
Sorry.
Are you done?
I'm just get some apple juice.
Done?
I'm done. Sorry. It's like...
But as I was saying...
Sorry. So, people you met. So,
would just say little things like, oh, why don't you do your hair like so and so, or you know, oh, why didn't you wear this and you know show off yourself like this, like your friend. And I was just like, me and my friend were very different. And,
I got that as well, but I think it's well because like I felt literally so unattractive, and I was like, I feel like if I tried to myself look prettier, I felt stupid doing it.
This is the thing. I got comments like if I tried to wear.
Stupid.
There was one time I think all I did was try to I think I started wearing lip gloss, and I got accused of trying to be like someone a similar like aesthetic.
I didn't know this.
Yeah, like all I did was try and change my look, and I remember someone was just like, "Oh, you're trying to be like so and so in our class."
I didn't know that because I remember because I was literally I felt like so.
Sorry, I need. So a non-Muslim nearly drank.
It's empty. They're all empty.
Oh my gosh, struggling.
Bitch, orange juice. I'm dead. I'm actually dead.
I can't even explain.
I am weak. It won't even mind after this to come and say me.
Something very haram.
No, we won't say nothing. We won't say nothing.
Can't say shit.
Back to it, but basically, like, because I felt because of my size and just like you know, my complex regarding my skin colour, so I just felt like there's no point me trying to look pretty because like there's no point.
Yeah.
I just doesn't like it's shitty.
And this is the thing. Like my friend was of a white background, and I think I told you this before. There was one time she just made an offhand comment saying gold looked fake on my skin colour. Mm-hmm. It didn't suit me. And I remember being very upset because I had just bought gold hoops, and I sound like the girl mean girl. I was like, I just got these gold hoops, now I can't wear them. But I was upset, and it took me many years to realise how wrong that was. How wrong it was to feel ashamed of my brown skin when actually gold looks lit on our skin. Okay, come on, South Asian, please. Like we how much gold do we have that's real?
We look amazing, girl. Like brown looks amazing, girl. But I think it's for her.
To be made to feel ashamed, it's just like wow. Like, were you my friend? Do you really understand what you did? I don't think she meant it in that way, but
I think for her, they're not used to having someone outshine them. So let's put them down. Like you know, I had little comments as well. Oh, you shouldn't wear this. And like I remember one time I wore like a similar top to my sister in mine. She goes, "Oh, you're copying me," and it's like little things like that.
Yeah, I remember.
Little
stuff
things
like that. They didn't realise the lasting impression. I think it's only later when we've come into ourselves. You know, we're confident with our appearances. We look good. We glue up, whatever. But we also don't have that shadow over us where I feel like I'm being judged. Yeah,
I can comfortably wear what I want to wear and like know I look good. But I think as well, it's just like I think for them, it's just kind of a shock because they've changed as well physically.
Yeah.
And
but they live different lives to us. Yeah. But I think the main thing is maybe part of it had to come from within us, but it's also what we're seeing way more celebration of women of colour online in TV shows. I'm seeing, for me, to see someone like Mindy Kaling have her own comedy show and her having, you know, interracial relationships and not being shamed for it. And, you know, it's not always about her being brown skin and, you know, a controlling mother trying to get her in an arranged marriage. She's out she's a doctor and she's living life. Like, for me, groundbreaking.
Yeah, no, it's true. Like, we've got people like Lizzo and, you know, I can't remember, what's her name? She's beautiful. She was in Something Great. The Black Best Friend.
I've got her name, but she's in,
she's fucking regal. She's stunning.
She is something about her presence.
It's just literally, I'm like, oh my gosh, you're like literally, God, I need your fucking cheekbones. Like, literally, like, so many beautiful dark-skinned women out there, you know, embracing their face.
See that growing on.
And their hair. And just like, I didn't have this, like, you know what? And I think as well, like, I think other people who are non of that background and more celebrity as well, like where I work, it's predominantly white, and I'll have a lot of my white co-workers be like, you're so beautiful, and just like I'm admiring your cheekbones, like your hair looks incredible. It's like, oh, okay, I see how this is.
I know so lit.
Okay, I see how it is, isn't it?
I'm dead.
It's just like
that's nice though.
Yeah, it is, and
nice
it's just like
to be celebrated for the features you have.
That I used to hate, but you have these people who I wanted to look like. Yeah. They're like, actually, you're beautiful. And like, I told you about Wetherspoons, this old Caucasian woman approached me because you're so beautiful. And
I have seen this happen more than once. It's quite unnerving, but I also have to pull you away quite a few times from these Caucasian women.
I can't help it. There's this broad bum. The thing is, I can't help being beautiful. I can't. I'm sorry. But it's great because I can even think, like, looking at you, you think that I'm Do you know what I mean? I think you're a racist. I think you're like, oh, you fucking hate me for my skin.
Why is this old white lady approaching me?
Literally, that's
the thing. We've grown up with fear.
I think you say to me, get out of your country. You're like, oh, I think you're beautiful. It's like, oh, well, okay.
That's not. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, I wasn't expecting this, but
this is the thing.
Take back my assumptions.
Exactly. Yeah.
Legit.
Thank you, mysterious third voice in the room.
Hi, Sadistic Joby.
Hey, guest in the room.
I'm the one that did something kind of haram earlier.
It's fine. We don't talk kind of haram.
Accidents.
Haram.
Have a speech.
Haram.
Inshallah, God will Allah forgive.
Alhamdulillah.
Can I just make a comment on this? Actually, I've been listening in and thinking about it, and I'm probably going to talk too much because this is like very normal for me. But anyways, let me start.
Our cushion's ready.
I'm so glad it took 20 minutes for you to formulate.
I was just listening, and I was just actually had some stuff to say.
Go on, Dick.
Yeah.
All right.
So basically,
yeah, we get to have a break now.
Mm-hmm.
I was just thinking, like,
Ali, no.
That's what you get for cussing me.
Oh man,
Karma.
Let me eat.
Let's just say food did not get to your mouth.
Allah humbled you. Allah humbled you.
Food did not get to your mouth in time.
The haram though.
Haram. Melissa Kajabi, please. Tell us your opinions.
I was just going to say that I still think that a lot of the image standards are still around. I mean, I know a lot of companies are still doing are doing their best to incorporate plus size and things like that. Nike have a plus size mannequin in there.
Oh, I love that mannequin.
I absolutely loved it. Like, it was just so legendary. And then you've got like I can't remember if it was like Lidl or Aldi have got an advert in the last week or so where the family is an all black family.
Must be Aldi.
Yeah, it's one of them, Lidl or Aldi, and they've got an all black family in the advert, and it's like showing them enjoying their meal together as a family. And I was like, wow, I think it's the first time I've seen an all black, cast in an advert.
It's gonna be biracial, so you've got like one white parent.
There's so many biracial families, which is nice.
Yeah.
But after a while I was like, it's nearly every advert.
Yeah, it's kind of just like they've added the black people or the Asian people in there. Yeah, just to like prove their point that they're being, PC.
We're tolerant.
Yeah, exactly. But like especially with, I feel like the Asian community, and especially like the hijabi Instagrammers and stuff like that. Yeah. I mean, I'm only new and I'm only like starting something small, but I'm like I've never been someone to be hooked on social media. I don't post for days at a time, and I'm okay with that. Like, these two always cuss me because they say I live under a rock.
You do, because you don't get some of our references.
No, but
it's very strange that someone our age doesn't know some things.
Because
you didn't know who Shaquille O'Neal. You did not know who Shaquille O'Neal was.
Shaquille O'Neal. Big black basketballer.
The biggest.
Alliteration. Big black basketballer. The 3 B's.
Please don't Google
he
that.
Big,
don't
he black,
Google.
he basketballer. You don't know him. You will know him now.
Again, your rock was too large. Okay, Mount Everest, you're not meant to hide under Everest.
Big black basketball.
Please stop, because people will type this, and I don't want that to be the title of this episode. What's the main topic?
Big black basketballer.
No, not having that on my feminist podcast. Thank you.
He big, but he black and he a basketballer. What's that?
I just can't believe she didn't know.
Yeah. So well, I've completely forgot what I was going to say. Thanks,
we cuss you for living under a rock, but what was your point before that? Because
but I feel like I've never like had to follow the standards of like celebrities and things like that. I've never really been the type of person to find out what's this celebrity doing or saying over MSN or whatever we used to use back in the days, magazines and stuff. I started Facebook because Zed told me to start when we left high school. You know what? You can keep in touch.
You're like the second person.
Yeah, this girl was just going around telling everyone to join Facebook, and now look, none of us use it.
Okay. Can I just let you know? Can I just say, I'm a social creature, okay? This lot are fine chatting to themselves, but I was the one that was always just like, I want to keep in contact. Who's still friends to this day? Hush your gums, hush your gums.
Yeah, but you could text us, didn't you?
But is that thanks to Facebook?
Did I have credit? No. I didn't have credit.
The struggle was real. Kids nowadays don't know.
You would have found it.
You would have found us eventually on Instagram.
No, kids nowadays don't know the struggle of having pay as you go, and then your mum,
the struggle of dial-up,
your mother refusing to top up your phone.
That's a real struggle. Dial-up. You spend all your credit on one text.
No, I didn't have that T-Mobile friends whatever thing, and £5 pass and all this. I didn't have that. I didn't even have a decent phone.
I got my first phone when I was 15, and I started taking the bus to school in year 10. And kids nowadays, like 12, 13, have
they've got contracts,
have contracts, Instagram contracts, makeup artists, like, bruh.
And
on that note,
we had to grind.
We're humbled.
We had to grind.
And even now, we're paying for our own contracts.
Exactly. And now I see it. And I'm upset when the money leaves my account. Because I think I could have spent it on food.
Because I know what it's on, like Instagram and
everything hurts when you pay
Uber
for
Eats.
it. Uber Eats has a lot to thank
saying
for.
that I just got Uber Eats, so
I'm going to order it later. I'm not going to lie.
Privileges.
I'll probably order it later. Some nuggets.
I work hard. I'm going to spend my money on meat.
Anyways, I'm broke. That's why I'm not rich like that Filipino kid that reviews toys online.
I only fucking 6 million. How are you doing that? You're a child.
There's a 10-year-old Filipino girl who's a makeup artist.
Why?
And I'm just like,
who is she making on?
The worst thing is her makeup is lit.
No, I'm not like a 10-year-old. You're a child.
No, bro.
A child is not touching my fucking face.
Her highlighter is on point.
Children shit themselves. Personal experience, they fucking shit themselves. You're not touching my face. No. You're in school. Your highlighter along with pink eye. No fucking way.
Nah. American.
No.
Pink eye.
No, you're not doing that. I'm not doing that fucking
pressures
bullshit.
of young people.
No, I work.
Those kids do not get pressure.
They're one in a million.
Even I mean, like, if you look at Instagrams at the moment, okay, we've got lots of, like, plus-size models and, like, you guys have shown me so many plus-size Instagram pages and things like that.
There's Ashley Graham.
Yeah, and,
Queen Mojo.
like, I'm trying to think about hijabis, and I only know of one hijabi plus-size model. She's not even plus-size. She's not even plus-size. She's, like, just a bit chubby. Her name's Chinute, and she's the most amazing, like, Kenyan African, like, amazing, like, Kenyan African hijabi. She's married like a Pakistani guy. Their baby is the cutest thing ever, and like she's not even like plus size. She's just a bit chubby, like,
Thick.
And she's just had a baby. So but I can't think like you see hijabi tutorials. You see makeup, and hijabis doing makeup tutorials, and they're all, slim. They got like cat eyeliner. They got, there's a standard still. There's a standard. Even if they don't follow a standard in terms of how they do their hijab. Like, some people do the turban, some people do a wrap, some people... Yeah. Everyone's different. But then you've always got the commenters who are like, that's not how you wear hijabi. Yeah. That's not how you wear hijab. That's not how you... you're not covered.
You're not giving yourself to Allah.
Someone always has an opinion. Like, you're always being evaluated.
I feel like it's men who are commenting this stuff. And then that's what I've noticed. I feel like it's predominantly men.
Or older women.
Or older women. This is one hijab I used to follow. What's her name? She now doesn't wear the hijabi, and when she stopped wearing it, she got death threats, against her and her kids.
Is it not Dina Tokyo?
Dina Tokyo.
Dina Tokyo.
Literally, the response was horrific. I'm just like, you know what? It's her choice.
Borderline abuse, and it was so.
Yeah. It was abuse. It wasn't.
And no offense, but when people make comments like that, what would make you think that she actually wants to wear it now?
Yes,
exactly.
Like, I'm catering to what you want. You're threatening to kill my kids.
It's like, well, if this is what Islam's about, like criticizing others and things like that, then obviously she's gonna be like, well, I don't want to
go the opposite direction.
It kind of comes across like you've got some kind of duty.
Yes.
Like, of course she's an influencer. Of course, she started a modest clothing line.
But she's still modest. She doesn't wear a headscarf, but she's still modest in her clothing.
She just has her hair out. She dyes her hair.
I saw it coming. I'm not gonna lie. I told you I saw it coming.
Yeah, you did.
I did say I could see her not wearing the hijab suit.
But there was someone else. There's someone else that I follow. And I've forgotten her name. It's one of the makeup artists I follow. I don't know if it's.
Do we follow them?
Tanji or Jahanara, but one of them got messages in their inbox about how they're not behaving like a Muslim woman and they should be ashamed of themselves and how dare they try to promote this lifestyle.
Why?
Just because I think doesn't wear a headscarf. I think it was an American one actually. I've forgotten. And I think she's not like she stopped wearing headscarf. I think she had one post where she covered her hair for Eid.
She's in between.
Yeah.
The entire she will wear it sometimes. She won't wear it sometimes.
Yeah.
It depends how she feels. But you know what?
Do
what you want.
Body,
it's
her
choice.
And there shouldn't be shaming about why you want to cover up. If anything, it's quite a very old school traditional. I'm right in saying Arab maybe kind of culture to kind of cover up in the heat.
Yeah.
Like it's there's a reason for modesty, and I completely understand it, but no one should be made to feel that they have to.
Yes.
That they have to.
Remember when we were in secondary school?
Yeah.
I wore hijab from year 7 to 9.
Yes.
And I mean, there weren't many hijabis in our school, but there were a few. But like, I always felt like, well, firstly, I didn't wear it for the right reasons. I wore it to like show my parents that I'm doing what they want.
Yeah.
But then also, I wasn't comfortable in it. And I think that was a lot to do with the people around me. And it was always like people used to make such a big deal when they saw my hair, and it made me think like, oh, I want my hair out, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then I wore it like when I turned 21 or something like that, and that was because I wanted to wear it, and I felt comfortable wearing it, and I felt comfortable covering my hair and being more modest. I still get like, obviously, like when you guys are, oh, I miss your hair and things, but that's alright. But I still get people at work who are like, oh my god, your hair, and I'm just like, yeah, like, did you think I didn't have hair under this? Like, I know
it's an image thing.
It's like you know when people are like, can I touch your hair? And I'm just like, why? It's the same hair as everyone else.
It's just
like,
hair.
Some vanilla voices.
Yeah, like I mean, some people are just like, oh, like some people are really cool about that. Oh, I just never imagined your hair like that, or you know, I imagined it long and like the stereotype that is all Asian girls have long hair.
Not dyed or ballet.
FYI, I did, but I got bored of it, so I cut it all off. Like so, I just feel like. I mean, I still wear it now, but I still feel like when I go around and stuff, I still see the standard. Like I still get comments. I still.
So even if you're concealing a part of yourself.
No one's ever happy.
And there's,
you can't please anyone, basically, at the end of the day. You can't please everybody.
That's a nice.
And that's the thing. You just have to do you. Like whatever makes you feel good. Like I mean, whether people just want to wear hijab or not, whether they want to do head wrap or not, it's just whatever they're comfortable with. Like. Don't get me wrong, I love the head wrp, turban, hijab style, and I'm talking to these girls about how I really want to do it. But at the moment, I'm not comfortable, so I'm just like, working towards it, like warming up to it, and I'm just seeing how I feel.
From within you, but you know, you haven't got the pressure of like 100k followers that are gonna notice a difference and send death threats. And I think that's when it's a shame.
But that's the thing, like when I started Holistic Hijabi, I said I'm not aiming for fame. I just want to start something to like show my interest.
You like blogging.
And I was like, if it goes somewhere, fine. But I'm not starting it with the intention of fame. And to be honest, now that I'm looking at it, I'm kind of like, I don't mind a quieter life. Like I don't.
It's peaceful.
Yeah. I don't know if I want 100.
There's no accountability. You can do what you can want when you want.
I think it'd just be nice if you get some free food out there.
Free clothes. That's what I want.
Then we benefit.
But that's really good, that food.
Again, why are we still watching
it's cheese and meat and spice.
I mean, okay, there's three things to
and bread. Sorry,
spice
back to our
good, meat good, bread good.
Spice good. Cheese, meat, bread, yes.
Overall, I think we can have some final comments on what we were saying about the pressures of young women now, or just women in general.
I think it's getting better. The imaging is getting better. The standards are getting, less strict. Like we're more inclusive, we're more diverse, 100%. But we still have a lot of way to go.
I think it's getting better, but I think the education needs to be improved because you still have children. Not children, but people like growing up, and if you have quite a sheltered background, you grow up thinking, oh, that's how I need to look. So I think there needs to be more education, more awareness about certain things, and also as well, just say that's not real life.
No.
I think that just needs to be pointed out more realistically. That's not real life.
I think in the grand scheme of things, now there's like this. I feel like there's a big wave now, and I think what we need is a second wave where we're learning from the first wave, and the inclusivity is genuine and it's more embedded. Yeah. I think sometimes we take it for granted being from London, because when I went to Cornwall quite recently and realised how predominantly white it is, and I felt like I stuck out. But then I saw was these like massive like Sainsbury's campaign posters, and when I looked at them in Cornwall, for me they stood out because of having a mixed race woman on it, having a black man on it, having like a young like dark skinned kid on it. Like I was just like, oh,
in Cornwall, why?
In Cornwall, because because of Sainsbury's, obviously they're all about
they're lazy. They want to print more up.
And there was this whole pride thing, like, we support LGBTQ+, and I thought, that's really nice and inclusive, but for me it stood out way more in Cornwall than it did London. And I think we kind of forget when we talk about these waves and campaigns, some places are not ready for it, or that's the first time they might see something like that.
Oh, bro, bitch, please. It's like, went to Wales. Wales stirred
I played the game where this time we were looking for hijabi, didn't find one in 3 days. We were like, this is the golden snitch. We were trying to find the hijabi, and when it got to the end, I didn't see one win the game. Literally, when I googled the local mosque and found that it wasn't in Cornwall, it was in Plymouth, I was like, wow, this can't be right. But I think we're spoiled. We're spoiled.
Yeah. Because you can like comfortably go out of your home in London and know that you're not. You can see people like you. But you only notice it when you actually leave London. I went to Norfolk. I saw one Japanese guy, one mixed race little girl, one black man. Damn. That was literally it.
Oh damn!
And the black man was the daughter of the mixed race girl.
Oh okay, so that okay. So that was just same instance.
So three people of colour I saw in Norfolk.
Oh my!
And I was there for a weekend.
Norfolk.
Yeah,
anywho, I think there's loads we can say about this topic, but I think we should save it if we revisit it for an episode, a second episode, and maybe if we ever get any comments or feedback, or even just kind of I don't even mind if anyone just shares their own experiences of anything that we've touched upon today, because I like the idea of interactivity and actually just hearing from other people's experiences. I think that's the best thing of the conversations we have.
It's different, because I also talk about experience, but like everyone's experience differs, so quite nice to see other experience and
definitely
people with different backgrounds, mixed backgrounds, this background, etc.
And how do they feel when they go to Cornwall?
I've never been because my ex is Cornish, but I go. No,
there is a reason why I've never been Cornwall.
You know what? He might be like, no, I know why.
Scones are lit. Scones are lit, but did they have any scones this time? No. Did they have a pasty? No.
Should we have Cornish pasties?
Not this time, Mel. We're very busy. Anywho, I think that wraps up our first episode of this podcast. I've been Zed.
I've been Ali.
I've been me.
Holistic hijabi.
HH standing for headache.
Yeah, she's not a regular contributor. She's a guest.
Yeah, man. Featured 20 minutes into this.
Legit. Yeah. And thank you for listening.
She actually contributed 50% of this. Yeah. You get 50% of the views.
Yeah.
No, less than that.
I was gonna repeat I spy, but I was like, no what, I'll keep quiet.
We can do that now.
I ain't got time.
Something begin with F.
I'm done. Suck your mother. Sorry,
Good, and I'm gonna wrap up.
Sorry.
Bye bye.